Hello and a very good evening and welcome to the news live on Channel R.
Hello there, I'm Daphne Charles.
And I'm Faisal Bongso. We begin with the headlines of tonight's news. Indian media points out that India should consider Sri Lanka as its closest friend. Electricity supply in Sri Lanka is equivalent to supplies in developed countries. The case relating to the Papiliana attack has been settled. A program to ensure safety at archaeological sites. North Korea decides to reopen Yongbyon nuclear complex.
On to those and other stories in detail now. The Indian media has pointed out that the Indian government should consider Sri Lanka as its closest friend instead of getting subjugated to the pressures of a handful of greedy, politically motivated politicians in Tamil Nadu. They report that the Indian government should undertake a policy of winning over Sri Lanka for the stability of the region. The New Indian Express Daily says that the Tamil political parties in India have no right to represent the Tiger terrorists who murdered 1,500 Indian soldiers and injured another 5,000. It says that a terrorist organization that carries out suicide bomb attacks could not be defeated without totally eliminating it. It adds that it is not an easy task to kill a terrorist who carries out attacks by remaining among civilians. The chairman of the Indian National Human Settlement and Environmental Centre, M.N. Booch, states that it is totally unjustifiable for blaming the Sri Lankan army for defeating the Tiger terrorists. He points out that India is linked to Sri Lanka geographically, ethnically, religiously and economically. He says that it is the responsibility of India to keep Sri Lanka as its closest friend. He further states that India should open its markets with gratitude to Sri Lankan products such as tea, jewellery and other products. India should also encourage Indian investments in Sri Lanka. The New Indian Express states that India should not decide its foreign policy on Sri Lanka based on the greedy political aspirations of Tamil Nadu politicians. The popular Business Line newspaper points out that Tamil Nadu politicians are raising a problem about Tamils in Sri Lanka to take advantage in the forthcoming election. It says that DMK party leader M. Karunanidhi and Chief Minister of the province Jayalalitha Jayaram are competing with each other using this issue. The DMK party alleges that there were war crimes during the last stages of the operation carried out against terrorism. The newspaper questions why the DMK party, which was a partner of the Indian government at that time, did not pull out from the government if the allegations were true. The newspaper also says that normal life in South India has been affected by the demonstrations and agitations being carried out by Tamil Nadu politicians.
And the Indian High Commissioner in Sri Lanka, Ashok K. Kod, said that no one can shatter the friendship between Sri Lanka and India. He said that the minor incidents that take place in Tamil Nadu should be considered as isolated incidents.
The Government of India, working in close consultation with various state governments, including Government of Tamil Nadu, seeks to ensure safety, welfare and well-being of Sri Lankan nationals visiting India. I am aware of some isolated incidents, but those incidents are isolated. Even today, we have something like 130 flights per week between Colombo and 8 destinations in India. Nearly 75 flights from Colombo to 3 destinations in Tamil Nadu every week, to Chennai, Trichy and Madurai. If you look at the large number of people who are travelling back and forth every day, I would like to suggest that some discordant notes which have been noticed from time to time are really isolated in character.
Minister Dallas Alaha-Peruma also spoke at this function. Minister Dallas Alaha-Peruma said that he sees the Indo-Sri Lanka relationship similar to the stock market. It goes up and goes down. However, the Indo-Sri Lanka friendship always goes up and not down. He requested the people of this country not to consider the activities being carried out by a minority political fringe in Tamil Nadu as a matter of activities against Sri Lanka by all Indians, and not to harm the relationship between the Indian government and Sri Lanka. He reminded that at the time of eliminating terrorism from this country, there was severe agitation than what is being carried out at present in Tamil Nadu, but despite all that, the Indian government stood with Sri Lanka. He further added that if India is really opposed to Sri Lanka, we would have been able to achieve that victory at that time. The function was held at the Helboda Vocational Training Centre in Kotmale. The Indian government has spent 63 million rupees for the construction of this centre. Minister Naveen Dissanayake also attended the function.
In other news here at home, electricity supply in Sri Lanka has reached the level of developing countries. The Ministry of Power and Electricity said that Sri Lanka is the country with the highest electricity supply in the Asian region. Sri Lanka has 139 power stations. 107 of them are hydropower stations. 70 to 80% of power generation is carried out through thermal power stations, while the contribution being made by the hydropower stations amounts to 20 to 30%. By the year 2006, the power supply to houses amounted to 76.7%. This has now increased to 94%. This is equivalent to power supply in developed countries. The ministry expects to supply 100% power in the year 2014. The government has spent a huge amount for this purpose. The present government took action to construct the Upper Kotmale hydropower project and the Norachole coal power project, which were abandoned by the previous governments due to political reasons. 300 megawatts of power is supplied to the national grid through the first stage of the Norachole coal power plant. Another 600 megawatts of power is to be added under the second stage. The government provides a huge concession for the people in providing electricity. 26,500 million rupees is provided as concession to 3.7 million consumers who use up to 90 units of power. The concessions provided for industries and businesses amounts to 25,980 million rupees. Another 1,200 million rupees of concessions is provided to places of religious worship. Sri Lanka is the only country in South Asia which provides uninterrupted electricity supply round the clock. In India, the village areas get only 44% of electricity. There had been incidents in New Delhi and several other states where electricity supply was disconnected for 12 hours a day. Pakistan curtails electricity supply since 2008. In some areas, electricity supply is curtailed for 20 hours per day. During the recent winter season, Pakistan curtailed electricity supply for 12 hours per day. In Bangladesh, only 41% of the population receive electricity. In India, it is 66.3%. Only 43% of the population of Nepal receive electricity, while it is 66.2% in Pakistan. It is the objective of the Ministry of Power to make Sri Lanka the power hub of the Asian region. In order to achieve this objective, the government has focused attention on generating power through reusable energy sources, drifting away from the generation of electricity using fuel and coal. The government expects to save a large amount of expenditure made for fuel and coal by this measure and to pass on this saving for the benefit of the consumers.
And in other news at home, the court case relating to the attacking and damaging of a textile complex in Papiliana has been settled. Magistrate, the Additional District Judge Ajit M. Marsinga sternly warned all the suspects and ordered them to be freed. In the court case held at the Gangodovila Magistrate Courts, the 17 suspects accepted their guilt, and as per the request of the complainants, the case was settled amicably. The investigation in this connection was carried out under the Western Province Senior DIG Anura Senanayake. Senior DIG Anura Senanayake said that all the parties came and said that there is no necessity to take any action on this matter. Therefore, the courts listened to their appeal and settled the case amicably.
The Ministry of Health announced that the health service employees who fail to report for duty for health services at the National Hospital tomorrow will be considered as those who have vacated their posts. An employee who was subjected to a disciplinary inquiry relating to a wrongdoing has been transferred from the National Hospital to the Ragama Hospital under the recommendations of the Public Service Commission. The Secretary to the Ministry of Health, Dr. Nihal Jayatilaka, said that a group of employees has planned to take trade union action against this transfer. Secretary to the Ministry of Health, Dr. Nihal Jayatilaka, said that it will become necessary to consider those who fail to report for work by tomorrow as those who have vacated their posts. He said that they will have to recruit another group to replace their service. The doctor said that he is making a kind appeal to the health servants to not make any inconvenience for the service and to report for work immediately. He called upon the health servants to make it possible to implement the disciplinary rules of the Health Ministry, which has been agreed by the Public Service Commission.
A special program is to be implemented to make archaeological sites safe for the people. This step has been taken following the recent incident that took place at the National Museum in Colombo. The Director General of Archaeology, Dr. Rup-Eng Dissanayake, said that hazardous places will be identified and suitable measures will be taken to protect such places. He further added that information will be gathered from regional archaeological officers for this purpose. Already special attention has been focused on the steps near the Singhapada in Sigiriya. Dr. Dissanayake said that steps have been taken to cement the dilapidated areas in Sigiriya. He said that steps to provide safety in archaeological areas in Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa will also be taken. Dr. Dissanayake further added that the historical moonstone is also threatened with danger due to being trampled by several thousand people. He said that attention has also been focused on producing replicas in order to preserve the original artifacts. The Director General of Archaeology, Dr. Dissanayake, pointed out that everyone of this country has a responsibility to preserve the artifacts without damaging them, and also to be aware about dangers that may arise at these places.
Today is International Autism Day. The Ministry of Health said that a program will be implemented to identify children suffering from autism, which is a neurodevelopmental disorder. The ministry has arranged to implement enlightening programs throughout this month in this connection. The condition of autism in children was identified in the year 1940. The first International Autism Day was commemorated on 2nd April 2007. This condition can be seen mostly in male children of developed countries. Doctors informed that instead of treating children in Sri Lanka who have defects in understanding communication, people should not go to perform acts such as Shanti Karma for this condition. It has been found that this condition can occur in children due to weaknesses of some genes or due to life patterns. They said that this inborn condition could be cured by treatment. Dr. Kamala Nivanega-Singha of the Youth and Disabled Unit of the Ministry of Health said that up to 18 months no defects can be seen in these children. After 18 months, the human connections, communications and capabilities are not displayed by these children, and it is called the condition of autism. These children do not get the normal brain and social development. However, this can be successfully cured by identifying the defects early.
කලින්ම අපි අඳුනගත්තොත් මේ රෝගී තත්ත්වය මේකෙන් මගහරින්න පුළුවන්. ඒකෙන් ප්‍රතිකාර වලට යොමු කරගන්න පුළුවන්.
In Sri Lanka, the condition of autism exists in 1% of children born in the country. Dr. Kamala Nivanega-Singha has said that ignorance of parents about this condition has become a main problem. Dr. Kamala Nivanega-Singha of the Youth and Disabled Unit of the Ministry of Health says that around 3,750 such children are born each year. It is necessary to absorb them into society. The doctor said that steps will be taken in the future to establish treatment centers and treat these children after identifying them throughout the country. The Ministry of Health informs that identification of autism in children and necessary advice could be obtained from medical health officers.
Yet with local news, the Gurunagar multi-storied housing complex in Jaffna, destroyed by terrorists in 1987, will be renovated. The project will be implemented under the Nagamu Puravara program of the Janasevana 1 million houses project. The reconstruction work will be completed within 1 year at a cost of 100 million rupees. This 5-storied housing complex of 160 housing units was constructed in the year 1985. Participating at the function held today to launch this project, Minister Vimal Veeravansa said that the attempts being made by foreign forces to shatter the unity existing among various communities should be defeated. The minister said that those who are in Chennai and the TNA, which goes on pilgrimage to Geneva, want to up the cyanide capsule on the necks of the northern children once again. And he said that these elements do not want to see a golden chain appearing in the necks of the northern children forever. The minister further added that everyone has the responsibility of joining together and sternly rejects their schemes and to defeat their conspiracies. He said that this should be done for establishing harmony among the Sinhala, Tamil and Muslim children of the future.
The awarding of Student Leader Badges for the year 2013 of Junior Section of Royal College Colombo was held at New Town Hall today. At this function, Student Leader Badges were awarded to 112 students by Attorney General Mohan Peris and the Principal of the College, Upali Gunasekara. The Attorney General was the chief guest at the function. The Secretary to the Ministry of Mass Media, Dr. Charita Herath, also attended the function.
We would like to welcome our we will revere.
And the Queen Victoria super luxury vessel arrived at the Colombo port. The vessel is on a world tour of 105 days. The British company Carnival, which owns the vessel, hopes to use Colombo port as a destination for its vessels. The company has praised the Hambantota port as well. So along with Daphne and Kasun, this is Faisal Bonzo signing off. We'll have more news for you tomorrow night at the same time. And have a wonderful day tomorrow.